PCA for MVP, Moises Ballesteros for Rookie of the Year. We talk some Cubs futures next.
You are Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network. We are your team every day. I'm Sam Olber, alongside Matt Cozy. We're lifelong fans taking our passion into a discussion with you on all things Cubs. This episode is brought to you by MLB The Show 26. Visit MLBThe.show/locked-on and use code LOCKEDON to unlock a pack for use in Diamond Dynasty. Available now on PlayStation 5, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch. Rated E for everyone. Stay tuned later in the episode for our MLB Top 100 highlight. All right. Last best and worst of the offseason coming up.
Crazy.
A little bit of a marquee update. Good news for a lot of people, more bad news for me. And we start with, we did this at least once or twice, Matt. You quarterbacked this. Just some interesting odds, some interesting bets. And I'll be honest with you, and you know me, I think one of the many things I'm guilty of on this program is overreacting to lines, overreacting to Vegas. I think sometimes it's right, but it does mess a little bit with how you watch things. Like, for example, we're recording this around 4:00 Thursday. Illinois is favored tonight by 25.5. 15 years ago, if I didn't know that spread, I'd be sweating this game out so much. But now that I know that, it changes how I approach it. You know what I mean? Which I don't like. I don't think that's good for my psyche. But there's some really interesting things I want to run by you on FanDuel, and I want to hear your take on this. How are you, by the way? Everything good over on your side of town?
Yes, yeah. I'm now counting down the hours to opening day. I mean, I'm not yet, but I could if I wanted to.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of work.
1 week, and I believe in my heart of hearts, and when we sit down at these exact spots, literally almost to the second.
Yeah, we'll be 1-0 baseball.
As it's 4:07 Central Time. I do believe 1 week from now, the Cubs will be 1-0 en route to a 5-1 start. And hope you're doing well also.
I appreciate that. So not good news here. The Cubs, do you want to guess? Do you want to guess how many guys have, let's say, shorter odds, I think that's the right term, than the Cubs' first MVP odds in the National League? Does that make sense? What I phrase that extremely poorly.
Well, my guess is there's only one player on the list. Maybe there's two.
Yeah, there's
I don't
two.
know how long the list is.
Yeah, it's very long.
I would say it takes a long time till we get to Pete, and then it takes more time till we get to Seiya or Bush.
You're 100% correct. Pete is 22nd.
Yeah, that's far down.
Far down. He's at 50-1. Yeah. And Bush and Seiya are 200-1 for MVP. I would not take any of those. There's no value there. If you want to throw a little bit on Pete, fine, but I just don't think he's going to be able to hit for 160. And I mean, basically, you're gambling on an Ohtani injury at that point.
Well, plus the NL is the league that's loaded.
Right.
Yeah,
but
Ohtani, Soto, Acuna.
Right.
You got Soto's teammate, Frankie Lindor, who I'm sure will be in the convo at some point. Got Ohtani's teammate, Mookie Betts.
Yep.
Not to mention
Freeman,
Bryce Harper.
De La Cruz, Schwarber.
Yeah.
I mean, the MVP bet the National League at this point has basically just become, if you don't bet on Ohtani, you're betting that he gets hurt. Because is there a world where he plays a full season and doesn't win the MVP if he pitches and hits? It seems hard to fathom.
No, and even then, I believe there's only one person,
Soto,
that would overtake him. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. All right, I got two for you, folks. When I saw this morning, I almost, I don't drink coffee, so whatever I was drinking, I don't even remember. Probably some coffee some water with some electrolytes in it. I almost spilled it. Cade Horton for Cy Young, 100-1.
Wow.
I placed that. I have that.
Really?
I have that ticket. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
So is that $100 to win 10K?
Correct.
Oh man.
Correct. I didn't put 100 on it, but put 50. But I don't have to share that information. I was concerned that his odds were that long, considering
Why?
because he was the Cy Young in the second half of the year last year. That's why. So they don't believe in him. And listen to this. Ready for this one, Matt? Do you want to guess what his over-under strikeouts on the season is?
I'm not good at that. Like maybe like in the 120s.
You're fantastic at it. It's 124 and a half.
Oh, okay. Look at me.
That's a really low number.
Yeah, because that would mean he only pitches like 100 innings.
That would mean he only throws about 125 innings. Because I would assume he strikes out about, hopefully this year we get about a guy per 9. Last year he was far less than that.
Yeah, right.
But, but let's just say he strikes out a guy per 9. 125 innings only? All right, well, I was hoping we'd see about I was hoping we'd see about 150 plus from Cade.
Yeah, 150 would be a really nice number to have enough in the toolbox for the playoffs and the ultimate goals that I'm excited to further flesh out next week before the real thing starts. But 120, 125 innings, I could maybe be talked into like what the journey was to get there, but it's too low.
Right. Unless they just really are careful with him.
Yeah, if they do that break around the All-Star break where literally he takes like 30 days away, I guess maybe.
Right. All right, couple more to throw at you here.
Here's I would be concerned maybe to hear Boyd's strikeout total.
Yeah, I don't have it.
Okay.
Boyd was farther down on the list than Cade. Mm-hmm. All right, here's my favorite one, Matt. Here's my favorite one on the list, and I know you're not a gambler. I'm making you I'm making you do this. Moises Ballesteros, 30-1 to win Rookie of the Year.
That's really good. I like that one a lot. That makes sense. That makes sense to invest.
I mean, I guess he's probably going to get hurt from the sense that he doesn't play the field. But look at the names. Yeah. Let me read you the name ahead of him right now. Okay. Connor Griffin, Nolan McLean, JJ Weatherholt, Sal Stewart, Bryce Eldridge, Bubba Chandler, Carson Benz, Justin Crawford, Andrew Painter. Out of those guys that I just mentioned, Ballesteros is one of the guys that you absolutely know is going to be there every day. We learned last year it's very difficult for pitchers to win it because I think Cade should have won it.
Yeah. And what is that? 3 of those guys are pitchers?
Yeah, McLean's in there, Chandler. So that one I really, really like. And I mean, I'm on a whole Ballesteros train, of excitement.
That's a good one. And I'm starting to drink the Kool-Aid as well. And it will not surprise me at all if he's one of the guys that you do link momentum from Sloan to Wrigley, and he just keeps hitting next weekend out of the gate. I mean, we'll see after that and, the sustainability level, but I could see him being like the go-to guy in a cold, cloudy, potentially rainy, snowy weekend.
Snowy day, 5th inning, kind of a boring 0-0 game.
And he just laces one in the gap, dude.
Second and third, 2 outs, and there's a base hit. Cubs score 2. They win the game 3-2. He's the hero. I love it. All right, I got 2 more for you. We're going to talk about them all coming up next.
Thrilled to be presented by MLB The Show 26, the latest from the beloved video game franchise. And each week we're highlighting the stars of MLB's top 100 players list, the elite names you'll be controlling, building around, and going head-to-head with in MLB The Show. Today we're spotlighting number 3 on the top 100, Bobby Witt Jr., the Kansas City Royal. He has come out of the gate really strong the last couple of years. At one point, out of one of the All-Star breaks the last couple of years, he was like 20 for 40 or something like that. The contact, the power, the glove at shortstop, a lot makes him elite. And that same dominance shows up in MLB The Show 26 with upgraded ratings, new animations, and improved gameplay feel. Plus, if you're a Cubs fan, you could have a lot of fun with franchise mode. That's this week's MLB Top 100 highlight presented by MLB The Show 26, where you can play, manage, and build with your favorite players and teams. If you love talking baseball, you'll love playing it even more. Visit MLBThe.show/lockedon and use code LOCKEDON to unlock a pack for use in Diamond Dynasty. Internet connection required. This game is out right now. Go get it. PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S and X, and Nintendo Switch. Rated E for everyone. MLB The Show 26.
This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. College basketball is nonstop. March Madness is here as we speak. Big games, tight spreads, momentum swings every single night. From early tip-offs to late-night West Coast shootouts, there's always action on the board. And now FanDuel is giving you a way to turn that energy into even bigger potential wins with a college basketball parlay profit boost. Folks, all that talk about the Badgers, who are related to the Brewers. They've been eliminated by High Point in one of the finest March Madness games you'll ever see. Had High Point there in the bracket. Had High Point plus 9.5. Phenomenal game. And I'm a little salty. I don't know if this Brewer thing is starting to take over my life, but just was a little tired of watching Nick Boyd pump up the crowd every 2 seconds. He can pump up the crowd from home because they're eliminated. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com. FanDuel. Play your game. We are back here on Locked On Cubs, and baseball's back. You can lock in by joining the Everydayer Club, which gets you ad-free episodes for the next week or so. You can use Spring for a free month. Go to LockedOnCubs.supercast or tap the link in the show notes. This Brewers thing, I told you, people have been in my mentions. There's nobody that's been more respectful of the Brewers than me, and I don't appreciate some of the things that have been said to me. So I'm going to be a little edgier this year, a little edgier. And you know me when I can get a little edgy.
This is the year the Cubs take the division back.
All right, I got two more for you, and then we're going to talk a little bit about Marquee. Matt, why is Michael Busch's under home runs 24.5? What am I missing?
Yeah, it's low.
What am I missing?
Do they think he's only going to play 140 games or something like that? I mean, he had such a great output last year. He ended up playing in 150. I think that seems like not a layup, but the one that maybe makes the least sense.
He hit 34 last year, and right center field was a monsoon. I mean, again, and here's how they get you with these. You know, you're betting against injury, because if he gets injured, it changes everything. If Michael Busch doesn't hit 25 home runs this year and he played a full season, something went wrong. Okay?
Yeah, that would be a really poor scenario.
So mark me down for that.
Okay.
And then
I should be. We should follow up on these in July.
PCA 22.5. That freaked me out a little bit. Probably won't take it, but just freaked me out a little bit. That's real low. And then I was encouraged to see Seiya hopefully healthy. We're still waiting on that, by the way. 28.5.
Wow.
Yeah, he has the highest total on the Chicago Cubs. It is now another year where not one Cub has an over-under that starts with a 3 in their home run total.
Yeah, which is not a surprise, unfortunately. Well, Pete, 22.5. I mean, that would mean that I would feel like something goes wrong for him as well. Encouraging, say, a 28.5. Hopefully he does hit 30 plus once again.
Yeah, and I do think this team, you know, they're going to need somebody to hit 30 plus. So somebody's going to have to smash that. In case you were wondering, which you weren't, Kyle Tucker's over under 27.5 for the Los Angeles Dodgers. I'll be watching him and not exactly waving my pom-poms for him. All right, so marquee news that you shared with me yesterday when we went off the air that I didn't know about, that I thought was quite significant. Care to share?
All right, so Marquee is now has picked up a couple distribution partners, one with the twist and one that's really big. The big one is that they are now available on Hulu plus live TV. This over 6 years now since they originally agreed to a deal with Hulu, and then Hulu backed out of the deal only hours after spring training started. Eventually, they did get the 2020 regular season in, but it has not been available on Hulu since. So that's nice. You got more options. Fans have Hulu already where they get all their channels. And now at no additional cost, you will get Marquee. And if you're looking to get more channels, that could be an option to watch the Cubs as well. And then within the Amazon Prime platform, Sam, the Cubs games will be on as well via like a Marquee tile. So you would go into Amazon. There's now several tiles, several channels that they've partnered with, just as kind of to continue their one-stop shop theme that they have over the years with e-commerce and now to your TV screen. So you'd still have to subscribe to Marquee in that scenario, $20 a month. But if you wanted to consolidate, I guess I don't really know the appeal to this.
So you're saying I
have a Marquee app.
So you're saying I could get the game on Amazon?
Yeah, via the $20 subscription fee.
Well, I've already subscribed.
Yeah.
Okay, that's big news because the Hulu thing disappointed me selfishly because I use YouTube TV, which prices anyway. So now you're saying just like. So on a Friday night when the NBA is on Amazon Prime, I log in, I watch it. Now I can log into my Marquee account through Amazon.
Yeah.
And watch that. So that's great news for me.
Oh, cool. Good.
So I have that. And this way, when my dad or I have company over for the game, I don't have to watch on my computer. I can watch the game.
Yeah, you got to upgrade.
On my TV, like, it's 2026, or listen to the radio like it's the mid 50s. And we're listening to, the great Sugar Ray Robinson fight Jake LaMotta on a radio feed.
Oh my gosh.
All right, cool. So that's a really good update. There hasn't been many positive updates with Marquee. I'll be honest with you guys.
Hasn't.
This has been the least amount of live spring that I've ever watched because of the situation. I would go as far as to say I've probably watched about 4 games, Matt. Is that?
Yeah.
I watch replays. I watch highlights. I read, obviously, for the program. But I'm not – I haven't really had the opportunity to watch much. And unfortunately, when I have, a lot of our pitchers are getting hit, or I get a notification. Yesterday's final score was another football match. Cubs lost.
Yeah. What is with that?
Another 16-run game. The Cubs might set the spring training record for the amount of 15-plus run games they've given up. Edward Cabrera hit hard again. He had a pretty good spring up until then, so I'm not going to be overly concerned about that. But any thoughts on that? Spring training and the pitchers. 16-8 was between the Arizona Cardinals and the Chicago Bears, formerly known once upon a time or separately known as the Chicago Cardinals, I believe.
Well, it's weird that there's only. I mean, they do that inexplicably. They play Monday and Tuesday against the Yankees at Sloan, and then they fly to Wrigley right after the game. Maybe we don't need those 2 games. Not every team does it. I wish the Cubs were one of them, but I get that that's going to be a huge draw. The Yankees there in Arizona as they're on their way to San Fran for their opener, which is less than a week away. But yeah, I just hope they finish strong, finish healthy. Keeping tabs on a couple guys, maybe the bullpen battle, the bench battle, who makes the last spot now, because if Seiya starts on the IL, well, now Conforto and Carlson can both make it, but then plus one other person. So I wonder who that's going to be. Yeah.
And I'll probably do a short at some point, Friday or Saturday, when we get I would assume Friday or Saturday we'll get a full Seiya update. That'll be the big one on that. So I'll keep tabs on that, and we'll go from there. I just hope this rotation is ready to go come Thursday in late March. All right. Best and worst. I got a few things, some fun Cubs stuff, some fun non-Cubs stuff. We wrap it up, Matt. This is essentially our last like real off-season episode. Because next week we'll go ahead and, we got to do predictions.
Crazy.
I want to hear your record prediction because, I was called, I'm always called Mr. Pessimist on this show. Last year I had a 90-win team. They won 92. You predicted them to win 50 baseball games.
How many did I predict? Seriously?
I believe you. I honestly think you went 82 and 80.
I didn't.
I think you did.
No, I didn't think it was 82.
It was 82 or 83. Somebody
last year I said 82 or 83.
Here we go again. Just like you're questioning me on the Red Sox thing, you're questioning my memory.
So I said they were going to win 83 3 years in a row.
I think last year you said 82 and 80. I could be wrong.
Oh, I got to look that up.
Look at the tape on that. If I'm wrong, I'll make a.
I might have to clip that.
I'll make a public apology.
Okay.
I might be wrong. It does sound.
I'm going to say 99 wins. Oh, that's next week.
That's next week. That's next week.
All right.
Do you remember before 2024, you had that guy on that predicted the Cubs were going to win 96? Yeah, they're 13.
Oh, Joe Sheehan. He loves the Cubs again.
Yeah, well, I hope he's right this time. All right. Just messing around.
He was last year in a way.
Oh, did he? He liked them last year?
He's liked them like 4 years in a row.
Well, hey, listen, that's not a bad strategy. Just, you bet on red until it hits red. All right, best and worst coming up next.
This episode's brought to you by Robinhood. What if sports were traded like markets? Now you can put your sports IQ to work in real time with Robinhood prediction markets. It's not you against the house, it's you participating in a live market. You can buy or sell your positions live all game long. Use your sports knowledge in the moments that matter. And Robinhood prediction markets changes the game. It's people moving the action, so when momentum shifts, you can move with it. I always knew the game, but never had a dynamic way to apply that knowledge. Now I can actually take part live in a market powered by people. You're no longer just a spectator, play by play, you decide. Trade every play with Robinhood, now available across the US. Download the Robinhood app now to begin. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives, LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm with Robinhood.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed Sponsored Jobs. Workplace chaos, deadlines stacking up, inbox overflowing, and the one position you have to fill still sitting open. When the pressure's on, you need the right hire. This is a job for sponsored jobs. Indeed Sponsored Jobs helps you reach the people who actually fit what you're looking for. Skills, experience, location, so you're not just hoping the right candidate stumbles across your post. And here's a stat that says it all. The minute I've been talking to you, companies like yours made 27 hires on Indeed. I made one this morning on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. So if you're hiring, spend less time searching and more time interviewing candidates who check all your boxes with Indeed Sponsored Jobs. Spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Less stress, less time, more results. When you need the right person to cut through the chaos, this is the job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to help get your job the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. Just go to Indeed.com/podcast right now and support our show by saying you heard about it on Locked On Cubs. Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? This is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs. Welcome back to Locked On Cubs, the number one Cubs podcast out there. YouTube. Give us some subscribers. Audio. Spotify. Apple. Wherever you get your pods, number one group led by Matt Cozy. I'm Sam Olber. I have three worsts of the week, three of them.
Oh my gosh.
They're going to be quick.
They don't have to be. Maybe we could riff off of them.
Number one's the Team USA and the WBC. Just a lifeless, boring, disappointing performance. Number two.
It's like having a latte.
Number two. I haven't had a sip of coffee since the 90s.
I love coffee, admittedly.
Yeah, it's I don't do well with caffeine. I just don't. Probably doesn't surprise people considering how hyper I run. Number two, and something you'll respect, is one of my favorite parts about March Madness is the broadcasters.
Oh, we should have done a broadcaster bracket.
And you know who my favorite is right now? I've said it publicly. It was Brian Anderson. It is Brian Anderson.
Who's under the weather, right?
And that's my worst of the week. I was so excited to watch him go. I think it was the South Florida game. And don't get me wrong. I mean, they got Jason Benetti to replace him.
What a sub.
What a sub. But he is like my March Madness go-to. And when I didn't hear what it was. So I'm glad I didn't know I was going to say he's not there. I was just going to say something personal. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
he tried.
Yeah.
He tried on Tuesday, and then they had to call in Benetti.
Man, is he missed. I mean, he is. When I didn't hear him today, I was really disappointed. He's just my favorite one by far. I think he's better.
Iron Eagle is my number one.
I think he's better than Iron Eagle. Yeah, I really do.
I'll have to look into that. Yeah.
And then my third one is, and I know you're going to get a real kick out of this. You ready for this?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm not going to, I know this is a little bit too like personal. I'm not going to get into brackets, whatever, but I did this thing this year with the brackets where you pick players on certain teams and total up certain points. And yet,
so just total points.
Yeah. And long story short, you have to pick a couple of long shots. I'm not going to get into the details, but you have to pick a couple of long shots. So I picked I picked a guy on Troy and I picked a guy on South Florida. Can I read you the numbers that they had in their games, please?
Was it like single digits or something?
Leading scorers on both teams. A gentleman by the name of Wes Enos on South Florida went 2 for 15 from the field, 0 for 11 from 3, and had 4 points. And the other gentleman that I selected on Troy, Thomas Dowd, he went 1 for 11 and 0 for 6 from 3. My two guys went 0 for 17 from D.
And those guys entering Thursday were the leading scorers for those two schools,
respectively.
Pitiful by them. Unfortunately for them.
And by the way, I for whatever reason, if those two guys are Cub fans, I get it. You have off nights. Don't worry.
Right.
I just thought it was really funny. It just, now I'm completely eliminated from the pool, and I'm going to owe somebody a lot of money who finishes in first.
Did you pick? So my one question back would be,
I have some good guys left.
Would be Bennett. Did you pick Bennett Sturts?
I wanted to. Friend of the show, friend of mine, Adam Walton, played baseball at U of I. He took Sturts right before me.
Nice.
I have Darius Acuff Jr., who's probably one of the better players in the country. Zuby Ejiofor.
Okay.
But I won't be finishing very high in that bracket thing.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I have just one thing.
Oh, great.
Broadcast related.
Let's carry this segment then, huh?
I thought Netflix could have done better than Matt Vasgersian for their baseball coverage.
That's who it is.
It's the first year of their baseball coverage, and they picked Matt Vasgersian.
Is he the Santa Maria? Is that like Santa Maria?
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
And maybe they pursued other people. They didn't take the job. I don't know.
Does he still work locally for the Angels?
Yes, he does. As far as I know.
It's funny. Finishing up the show on the broadcast topic.
Yeah.
It's March Madness, so every year I have a tradition the night before March Madness is I watch the last 5-6 minutes of Illinois' Elite Eight game against Arizona in 2005.
That's cool.
Dick Enberg, rest in peace. One of the all-time greats. I think he's so underrated. When I listen to him call that game, and by the way, he was also on the call for the Bears' 85 Super Bowl win, technically in 86. And I found that out. He was talking. It was him and Jay Billis on the call for that game. Mm-hmm. And he called everything picture perfect, Dick Enberg, who obviously worked for the Padres locally for a long time. I went back and watched his call of the Bears-Patriots game. He had one, Matt, he has his customary oh my, like that was his famous thing. So like the Bears are up, I think it's like 21-3, game's already over. And they rush the passer. I think Eason was out of the game. I'm blanking on who the backup was for the Patriots at the time that came in. That was really the starter, but whatever. And the Bears rushed like 5 guys at once. And it's like, and so back throw. Oh my! And then the guy just gets sacked, and he has no chance. It was so funny.
I don't think I made that connection that he did both.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, Dick Enberg. I didn't appreciate him enough during his time. One of the all-time
Same
greats.
Here.
One of the all-time greats. I always remember him doing Padres games. I always remember him doing NCAA tournament games. I didn't know he went that far back and did football as well. So
very cool.
All right, next week, guys, big week. I'm going to say this. So on Monday, probably look out for our NL Central preview that I did with all the other NL Central hosts. I'll probably tweet out when I know exactly that's going to come out. And then Matt and I we'll have records, predictions, all sort of season preview stuff, Seiya updates. And then Thursday, we'll have our first episode post game. So
yeah, eventually a series preview and then the first post game show of the year.
Yeah. A series preview. Man, you do a good job with those series previews, pitching matchups and so on. That means it's audio.
No, we'll be publishing shortly after the game, Thursday.
I can't wait. I can't wait. Steve Grogan was the name I was thinking of. I couldn't leave the show without knowing that. My dad would have been disappointed in me. All right. Thank you for making Locked On Cubs your first listen of the day. For those of you on video, we send you to the 24/7 National Locked On Podcast Network YouTube channel. And on audio, remember that to make sure your second listen is Locked On MLB and that Matt picked the Cubs last year to win somewhere in the 80s. We're going to find that out. We're going to get that record. Hey, maybe it was 90 wins and I'm completely blanking. You never know. Won't be the first time, and it won't be the last. Go Cubs, go Illini.